Okay, so yesterday I watched episodes 6 and 7 of Symphogear GX, and as I had said yesterday, excuse me, when talking about episodes 4 and 5, I had said these episodes were fine. I did not dislike them, I did not think they were bad, but 1 through 3, were so good, so action-packed, and it felt like so much shit happened, and it was great. And then 4 and 5 was like, some shit happened, some important shit happened, there were still some fun action set pieces, but it felt like it was more okay. And we'll see what happens in 6 and 7. Maybe it still stays okay. Maybe it picks back up. And it picked the fuck back up. These episodes were great. I had a blast watching them. So, at the end of episode 5, it was Mika showed up, kicked Suku's ass, kicked Aka's ass, and then Chris and Sub show up. So, I misunderstood it a little bit. What I thought was going on with the Ignite project was it was just your Symphogears are getting completely remade, you're getting super upgraded. To use a Nanoha comparison, kind of like how in A's, partway through they realized the way, I don't even remember what they called their weapons in Nanoha, but whatever it was, it's like our things, it's Raging Heart, Raising Heart, but it always sounded like she said Raging, but Raging Heart and Beradish needed to get full upgrades, and they started using the cartridge system, which I believe they use for the rest of the series. I thought it was going to be something like that, where it's like you are getting a complete fucking upgrade, and every time you transform, you are in your upgraded mode. That's not what happened. It was more of your gears are getting repaired, so you can do your shit, and then if you need to, you can trigger the Ignite mode, which I'm probably just going to call, Ignition, because I like how that sounds. Like you are igniting, it's your ignition mode. And then you can start doing crazy shit. So, essentially, episode 6 is Chris and Subs are fucking some shit up. Carol shows up and is like, okay, I'm gonna tag in. Mika, go back to the base. I'm gonna take care of shit. So she transforms, which, she somehow, she opens a portal and through cosmic space pulls out this giant, it was like a pink or purple harp, plays the harp, and then has a big transformation where she goes from being a kid to an adult. They're like, okay, so we're doing this. And just the way she looks, it just looks like she fused with the heart. Or excuse me, not with the heart, with the harp. And her ability, she's using harp strings. And at one point she makes a giant drill made out of harp strings. Okay, this is good Symphogear goofy shit. This is awesome. So, Subs and Chris fuck up a bunch of noise. Carol shows up, starts kicking their asses. They are jobbing hard right now. So then they try to ignite. Which essentially what the ignition does is it turns them into the feral shadow form that Beaky was using in Season 1 and Season 2. And as they are doing it, they're filled with all this, I guess, anger and despair. And it's kind of feeding off of all of their negative emotions. What Sub sees is she's at a concert, but instead of there being people at the concert listening to her songs, it's just a bunch of noise. And she's like, yeah, the only people that really hear my music, they're not my fans, they're not the people that I want to share it with, it's almost always my enemies. Which is really sad when you think about it. It's all I want to do is share music. Hey, bub, how you doing? All she wants to do is share music with the world and people that she cares about. But yeah, it is mostly just mobs of enemies that hear her sing. Because if you go to a Tsubasa concert, bad things are gonna happen. In Season 1, you fucking die. In Season 2, you get, held for ransom. In Season 3, I don't think anything really bad happened to the crowd in Season 3, but not long after, she and Maria got attacked. So it's yeah, don't go to her concerts. That happens, and then she has a vision of her father, who they mentioned in an earlier episode. I don't remember quite what they said. I think they said he's a head of the government. I don't think he's the head of the government, but he's someone that has a power over song. He's kind of the reason that Tsubasa is part of the program and shit. And how he doesn't really care about her. He doesn't see her as a person. He sees her as a tool, which is why she sees herself as a tool. She is nothing but a sword. She's a sword for her father. And oh, we're still getting into that theme of your relationships with your father and your father's legacy. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. And what Chris sees is she sees herself in a school, sees herself hanging out with some other girls, making friends, One of them looked a lot like Asuka from Ava. Like, you didn't see her face, but just seeing her from the back or from the side in the classroom was like, that's just Asuka. I know that shit. But that happens, and then her friends start, like, disappearing, and she's getting separated from them. And it's her problems with isolation, with not fitting in, and, like, all the shit that's happened to her in her past. And there's a part where, like, Tsubasa just, like, holds her hand. It's like, okay, I know that if I am not with you right now, I am going to fucking break down, and I can only imagine you feel the same. And Chris is like, yeah, I kind of needed that. But even with that, they're not able to truly ignite, and they just don't power up. And then everyone watching is like, oh, that's fucking bad. And then Carol's just really disappointed, like, oh, that's it? I was expecting something cool. I was expecting something badass. Tell you what, I'm not just going to nuke you where you stand. I'm going to give you the strength to get up. Summons a bunch of alkanoids that start destroying shit, and she's like, cool, so you can either sit there and be useless, or you can get off your asses and keep fighting and destroy all this shit. That's up to you, whatever you want to do. So Beaky is watching this shit, because of course she is. Also, there's a really funny scene where, because, when a gear gets destroyed, the girl, she's not wearing it anymore, so she's naked. So Aka and Suku are naked, and it's Maria's like, all the men in the room, close your fucking eyes. So Genjiro's just like, oh, I can't look. And then one of the other dudes, whose name I don't know, Nadogawa, he's like, I'm supposed to be like part of mission control, so I'm supposed to see. Like, what am I supposed to fucking do? And Miku immediately just covers Hibiki's eyes. She's like, I'm a girl. Why are you covering my eyes? But it was just really, she's like, I can't let my girlfriend see other women naked. Like, it was really funny. But Beaky watches all this shit, and she's like, okay, is gun gear fixed? Yeah, I guess it was. I guess they fixed it really fucking quick. I think they did say it's been about a week since the incident, so sure. So she goes in, she's like, okay. Oh, by the way, it's not just that she shows up. What happens is there's a big fucking alkanoid, and Beaky literally rides a rocket. The rocket hits it, she punches it, and the thing explodes, because this is Symphogear. You can't just enter a scene. What's the thing from Megamind? It's like the difference between a villain and a supervillain is presentation. That's what Symphogear is. It's presentation, and just its over-the-top bullshit is what makes it impeccable. But so this happens. She shows up and she's like, okay, guys, I know neither of you were able to, like, trigger your super forms, but I'm here, so we're gonna do it, okay? And they don't even do, like, the hand-holding friendship circle thing. They just do it. And so we get new transformation sequences. They get new gear, which is more just kind of like black or darker colors, which I think looks really fucking sick. I think the new transformation sequences are really fucking sick. So this happens, and Carol goes from absolutely dominating to getting her ass kicked. And I'm trying to remember, was there any specific moment I wanted to talk about with that? Oh yeah, she had summoned 3,000 alkanoids, and all I could think of was like, okay, so this is like the 1,000 Heartless thing, but I guess times 3, and them just kicking the shit out of them. Yeah, there was a part where Chris shoots a bunch of missiles, because of course she does, but then the missiles she shoots opens up and shoots more missiles. So it was like, I really liked that. Again, that was peak Symphogear goofiness. I loved it. So that shit happens. Carol does get beaten, and like, she gets beaten so bad, she untransforms, and she goes back into her kid form. And then, Beaky's like, are you sure we can't talk? Why are you even doing this? To which Carol says, like, I don't really know. I don't remember. To use, like, I don't sing to use power. What I use as my source is I use memory. We burn memories, which, like, thinking about that, I'm thinking of, like, just Mistborn shit, because I hear burning, that's what I think of now. Which, yeah. Pause for a minute. In previous episodes, they have mentioned that. Like, it felt like in Season 2, they were trying to siphon the power of songs. Here, they are trying to, like, siphon memories. Like, whenever they kiss someone and, like, suck out their life force, they specifically were saying, we are taking their memories. So that's how the auto score is, and it seems Carol herself, who might be a person, she might actually be a homunculi too, I don't know. It is possible that Elf9 is the actual real human Carol. I'm not a hundo on that. But they use memory to be able to work. It's like, that is what you burn for your power. So what it seems like the reason Elf9 has these memories is either she is the real human Carol, which actually I think they did, like they gave her a check or a test that as she is or she's not biological, she is the homunculi. So I guess she's not the real Carol, but I assume it's these memories are important. So I am putting them into you so they don't get burned. So at least there is a version of me somewhere that remembers that. And maybe when my work is done, I can take those memories back. That's what I am assuming. But Carol's like, yeah, I don't fucking remember. Memories are here to burn. Then she combusts into green fire. And I think she like kind of bites down. So it's like she took a magic cyanide pill and she combusted and she fucking died. Like she turned to ash. I was like, oh. We're not even halfway through the season yet, and the main antagonist just died. What the fuck? Where is this shit going? So in episode 7 is, it's a training episode, which for Symphogear means it's a beach episode. Which feels weird to say, because we've had training episodes and training montages before that did not involve the beach. But it's like, you know what? A lot of shit just happened. We beat the big bad. You gotta do some training to get used to your ignition forms, but we can chill for a bit. So I'll get to chill, and I got to see Maria in a bikini. Maria's hot as fuck. Like, I have to say it. She is fine. But, they hang out, and the water girl shows up, and I did make sure to pay attention. I was right. Her name is Gary. It's Gary, but with a G. It's Garie. So, of course, they're just like, Gary was here. Ash is a loser. Gary has some top tier faces. Like, just how... I feel like the auto scores can be pretty expressive, but she has, like, she's very fucking expressive. I think she is a ton of fun. It's like, while everyone's just hanging out, she shows up, is causing some trouble. She's like, I really want to fight Maria. I really want to deal with her. So she's fighting her, kicking her ass, and then she's kind of stopped. She's like, you're not actually... Oh, yeah, because Maria gets the Erigetlum back. She's like, you fucking suck. I don't know why you suck. I don't know why you're so weak. Like, Maria tries to ignite, and she can't the way that, like, Chris and Subs can't, but you actually didn't get to see her inside her head. So Gary leaves, shows back up with the other auto scores, and they're like, you fucking suck. Even though, she was kicking her ass the entire time, and she's like, I'm gonna be the first one. I'm gonna be the first one. Then later, you get back to the base. Gary shows up again. Actually, hold up. I'm trying to think how this makes sense in my head. Were they at the base the whole time? Because I know there's a part that takes place, like, at the beach. So I think there's, like, a base by the beach. Because they do say it's, like, a government-owned area. So that's what I'm assuming. There's, like, a government base, and then there's the beach. And then they go back to the beach later, which is when the ending of the episode happens, which was fan-fucking-tastic. Can't wait to talk about that. Oh, okay, that's right. So Gary shows up. They're fighting. Maria... it was Subs, Suku, and Akka were separated from the group because they were just going to buy snacks. Tsubasa sees this dude wearing, like, a uniform with a bunch of kids. I think, like, kids playing baseball. She's like, okay, you need to go take these kids and get them to safety. Do so. And he's like, no, fuck that. That's not my job. And he just runs. You're like, oh, what a fucking asshole. Gotta put a massive pin in the wall for that shit. Fuck that guy. So, shit happens. Gary kicks Maria's ass. Says some Gary Oak shit, leaves. So later, when they're at the base, one of them, the wind girl with the sword, I don't remember if that was Farah, if that was Lear. I wasn't quite sure how to pronounce it. She goes invisible, because with wind you can do that, I guess. Goes in to, like, steal some shit, which she does. While Gary is causing a big distraction. So Gary is fighting Maria. Maria tries to transform again, is having trouble, and Elf9's like, hey, remember when we were playing volleyball? And I wasn't very strong, and you said it's okay not to be strong as long as you're having fun and you're true to yourself. That's what you have to do, Maria. You have to just be true to yourself. And Maria's like, you're right, even if I'm weak. If I'm me, it's okay to be weak. And then she transforms again, and Gary's like, it's okay to be weak? Are you fucking stupid? So then they start fighting, and I love the way Gary moves. I know I keep saying that, like, the auto scores, their designs, and their movement. Like, the way she moves like a ballerina, like, when she teleports back to her squad, she's just in a ballet pose. I think it's so fucking cool. The way she just glides across on, like, these things of ice. It's awesome. But, like, Maria fucking cuts her in half. But then she turns into a bunch of bubbles that all have little Garys in them, and the bubbles start popping, and then another Gary shows up. And then Maria... Okay, so there's a part where Maria just clocks her in the face, which was great. It's not as satisfying as, like, seeing Burncastle get punched in the face, but it was pretty fucking satisfying. Then later, like, she gets uppercutted, which was great. Gets fucking punched into the air. Maria jumps up, cuts her in half again, and this time it's legit. And then Gary's like, I said I would be first! And then her eyes roll back, and then she turns into water, and she's dead. I don't remember exactly what happened after that, like, so, like, the main characters get together, like, they say something, it shows the one girl who went invisible, stole some shit. Oh yeah, that was something they mentioned earlier, was, like, when they were at the beach, they got some information, something that the mom was working on. What did they call it? It was, like, the photo sector? They didn't really say what it was. It was just, like, something, I guess she learned when she was on Frontier or whatever. But after Gary dies... Like, there's these, like, tapestries in the auto-scorer's lair. There's, like, a blue one, a green one, I think a brown one, and a red one. And the blue one looks like it fills up with something. And like, is this their plan? Is that why Carol used the magic cyanide pill? Are they trying to die? Because whenever they're in a fight and they're winning, they don't just go like, okay, how I want to phrase it. They consistently seem disappointed that they're not losing whenever they're fighting a Symphogear wielder. It's this weird dichotomy of we want to kick your ass and we want to break your shit, but we also want to lose. So my theory with what I have seen, because this is what makes the most sense, Elf9 is an antagonist. She is not working against the auto scorers. She is working with them. She might be their true leader. She might be like the real Carol, to some degree. Maybe not the real physical girl, but she might be like the mastermind behind everything. What we are trying to do is somehow like get enough energy, and the auto scorers have to die to provide that energy. For that to happen, the Symphogears need to be powerful enough to be able to kill them. And because they weren't, Elf9 then worked on the ignition program so they could get strong enough to pull it off. Like, that's probably why. Because Mika was not like, when she was chasing Hibiki, she's not like, I'm gonna kill you. It's, I want you to transform. I'm not gonna take advantage of the fact that you can't transform. I'm going to make you transform. There's a scene, and I think it was like the very end of episode 3, I believe, when Gary shows up with a bunch of Alkanoids. She's like, cool, I'm going to get you to transform and fight me. And then when Beaky can't sing, her face goes from like, yeah, we're going to do this, and like, I'm going to get you to fight me, to, wait, what? What do you mean you can't fight? That's not the plan. This is bullshit. So it seems like their plan involves them getting really strong so they can die, I guess to like power some machine or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. That's what it seems to be going for. Like, that's an interesting fucking plan. And at the very end of the episode, the girls are back at the beach. They're hanging out. They're like, all right, rock, paper. Oh, they're like rock, paper, scissors to see who's going to get snacks. Which, by the way, Subs lost with the other two earlier by playing scissors. But she made it like a finger gun. This was her scissors. And they all make fun of her for it. And they should. That was fucking funny. Beaky is the only one to lose because she plays paper. Everyone plays. She's like, I thought everyone would play rock. And then Miki's like, I'll go with you, babe. It's fine. So they go to the store. Beaky goes to the vending machine first, and then Miku goes into the store, and as a dude is walking out, and it's the same asshole, take the pin out of the wall, the same asshole that was like, I'm not going to help these kids, that's not my job. And he's like, huh, I remember you. You're really familiar. You used to play with my kid all the time. And then Beaky sees him and he's like, that's my dad. And she immediately just runs in the opposite direction. And that's how episode 7 ends. She is reunited with her father and just dips because she does not want to deal with him. And with what we saw of him earlier, it's like, you need to help these kids. Nope. I don't blame her. This guy seems like a massive fucking asshole. I just want to see, was there anything else I wanted to bring up? No, also, there was a cool dive kick. There was that's right. It was, I think it was like the last hit Beaky used on Carol was a dive kick, and she dive kicked her so hard there was an explosion. It's like I say, I fucking love dive kicks, and an exploding dive kick is that's just money. But yeah, these 2 episodes were fucking great. It was, again, it's not like episodes 4 and 5 were bad or even super boring. It was like they were fine. But the season had started off so strong, I was kind of a bit let down, and to see it almost immediately pick back up again was really satisfying. The next episode might be more of an emotional episode rather than a cool, crazy shit happening, although those can both happen in a Symphogear episode. But I'm actually really excited to just be like, if there's more action, great. If there's not, I want to see Beaky deal with this shit because this guy seems like he's an asshole, and this is gonna be really fucking interesting. And Clay just got back with lunch, so I'm probably about to go watch these couple episodes while I'm eating, and I'm really looking forward to it.